Welcome to True Image Fitness.
Your resource for lifestyle, fitness, and motivation.
Here is your host, the guru of motivation,
The Sultan Positivity, Mr. Strict.
Vance McDaniel.
Hey, what's up, Fit Fam? This is Vance McDaniel coming at you live from El Paso, Texas. And I guess by the time you watch this, it really won't be live. It'll be pre-recorded. Anyway, True Image Fitness and True Image Activewear, how's it going? I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. In the background here, you see that picture? That's a photograph I took several years ago down at Venice, that was Playa del Rey, California. One of my beach hikes. I used to go on beach runs and walks and bike rides, and it's actually one of my favorite images that I've ever taken as a photographer. Just bring a little piece of the West Coast to Texas and a little bit of water. There's no water here in Texas. Anyway, as promised, I told you guys we're going to start talking about diet and nutrition, and what better way to start this than talking about ketogenic nutrition. And I say ketogenic nutrition because I don't believe in dieting. Everything that we do is about nutritional intake, and we do not diet. We do not diet. We eat for the physique that we want. If you're 200 pounds overweight, you start eating for a 195-pound physique, and you will get there. It is not a diet, because once you get there, you will actually continue to go along the same path. There might be some minor adjustments, but if I want to eat for a certain amount of lean mass, I'm going to eat the right amount of proteins, I'm going to eat the right amount of carbohydrates, I'm going to eat the right amount of dietary fats, and if I eat for that number, once I get to that number, guess what? I'm in a maintenance mode. If you diet and just go into a calorie deficit without any purpose, once you get down to your desired weight, then you're going to have to make adjustments to your nutrition plan that are going to be a lot more drastic than if you're eating for the physique that you want in the first place, and I'll explain that in a second. So let's talk about the ketogenic diet, because I think that's one of the things that I want to separate fad from reality. Now, number one, if you go on any nutrition program and expect your nutrition program to be the sole driving force for you reaching your goals, you're creating a mountain for yourself. You have to incorporate fitness and fitness activities really to get the most out of life, but really to get the most out of a body transformation, and really to get the most out of really changing your lifestyle and your level of health, okay? So what I'm seeing a lot of people doing, they're going this zero carb, high fat, moderate protein plan. They're getting into ketosis, and they're dropping lots of weight, and that's phenomenal. But a lot of people aren't doing it correctly. Some people are getting great results as far as the amount of weight they're losing, but they're going catabolic, and what that means is they're doing this calorie deficit in a ketogenic way. They're eating up muscle mass. Well, when you lose muscle, you also lower your daily metabolic rate, which means you're going to put yourself into a position where if you eat the wrong things, your body's just waiting to hold on and to store fat, because now it's in crisis mode. But what you really want to do when you're going with these ketogenic programs is to eat the right amount of fats so that you're getting your energies, getting the right amount of proteins so that you are not losing muscle mass, okay? And you want to be able to drop that body fat, have energy, be able to get through your day. Well, a lot of people don't understand this. We were eating ketogenic nutrition as bodybuilders getting ready for competitions a long time ago. And we were eating 100 carbs a day, and we consider that a lot. Now, how is it that a person can eat 100 carbs a day and still be in ketosis when everything in these new ketogenic diets says that you need to eat 0 to 20 carbohydrates? Well, the secret is activity levels. Now, your body stores in the liver and in the muscle about 2,000 calories worth of glycogen, and that's carbohydrates. Once carbohydrates are stored into the muscle, we call it glycogen, but we can interchange those two names. So that's about 2,000 calories, which is about, really, it's a day's worth of calories, but of course you're going to split that up into stores, and depending on how many carbohydrates you burn a day based on your body mass, but based on your BMI, based on your activity level, blah, 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 it takes on average 36 hours to deplete what's stored in the liver and in the muscle tissue. 36 hours. Okay, so let's say that you go 3 days, 36 hours. Let's make it 96. Let's say you go 4 days and you eat zero carbohydrates and you eat moderate protein, moderate fat, and you deplete the stores in your body. Now what happens is any carbohydrates that you eat at that point in time will get used immediately. Now, how do we get into ketosis? Well, getting ready for competition, we're doing an hour and a half of cardio every day. We're working out. So any carbohydrates that we took in, that of that 100, maybe 35 in the morning with some oatmeal, maybe a little bit in the afternoon with some yams or something like that, and maybe a little bit later in the day, we're utilizing those right away because there are no stores. And because of our activity levels, we burn those up right away. We stayed in a state of ketosis, and then we ate our high fat, our high protein or moderate protein, depending on the individual. That's how you're able to stay in ketosis and eat carbohydrates. Now, if you're more sedentary, you've got to eat lower carbohydrates. And we're not going to talk about diabetics and people like that just right now because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the average person looking to use the ketogenic process as a way to lose body fat and to stay energetic and able to get through their day without being cloudy. It is said that you can eat anywhere from 20 to 90 grams of carbohydrates per day and still be in a ketogenic window. That depends on the individual, depends on your lifestyle, depends on a lot of things. This is why it is so important for you to track what you're doing, to write down what your meals are, and I'm talking by the numbers, grams of protein, grams of fat, grams of carbohydrates per day, know what your activity levels are, and to monitor your weight so that over time you can make adjustments, which is one of the reasons why it's really good sometimes to hire a professional or to get professional advice or get even an online coach, but somebody who really understands how to do those numbers. You can go out and do these different programs. Some of them work, some of them don't work, some of them will work, but if you really don't know how to follow them, that's why so many people fail in their nutrition programs. You can be in a ketogenic process while eating carbohydrates, but you have to know what you're doing. We don't want to simply lose weight. We want to lose body fat. And we definitely don't want to fail. One of the reasons so many nutrition programs fail is because people just don't stick to them. They can't stick to them, and for lots of reasons. One of the reasons is they're not seeing results fast enough. The other reason is they gain weight because they're not doing it correctly and they're just flying by the seat of their pants. Every nutrition program out there works. Like everyone works. Every deficit nutrition program will make you lose weight. But will it make you lose weight the way that you need to lose weight? There's a lot of diet programs out there. They all work. The question is, can you follow it? But the other question is, are they all working to the best advantage for what you need? And that is something that, you've got to figure out. One of the things about nutrition is it's a moving target. That's why you've got to track what you're doing, and you've got to be able to make adjustments. And that's why it's not something that you should just do by just winging it and hoping for the best. Find somebody that knows what they're talking about, somebody that's going to work with you over time in order to keep you on track and doing things the right way, and also really understanding what your goals are. Okay? For me, if you work with me, it's not about losing weight. It's about losing body fat. It's about being functional. It's about maintaining lean muscle mass, and in some cases, putting on some lean muscle mass. I don't know how many times I go on Instagram, and I know some people right now, and I don't say anything to them because they're following what other people are doing online, and I know what their goals are, and then I'm watching what they're doing, and what they're doing doesn't match what I know their goals to be. But because they're just following what somebody else is doing, they think they're going to get there, and they're not. And they're not going to change. They're not going to reach their goals because they're following something that is working for another individual who has a different goal, a different body type, and things of that sort. You've got to eat for the body type that you want based on your genetics, based on your lifestyle. We are all very similar, but there's subtle differences that a professional is going to be able to help you get there. Now, if you want to put the time in to study, that's awesome. You know what? And you should. And even if you get a professional, you should study through that professional. You should never just have somebody who's just telling you what to do. Like I said, this is why you log it. This is why you track it. You build up a diary of what you've done for yourself, and you should be able to go back over time and understand what you've done and how you've gotten there. So, again, on a ketogenic nutrition program, you can eat carbohydrates. How many? Depends on what your lifestyle is, depends on your activity level, depends on what your goals are. But yeah, you can eat some carbohydrates on a ketogenic nutrition program. Okay? And I usually would top it out at 100. Unless you're going to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest, then you're probably going to eat maybe 800 to 1,000 carbohydrates a day, but you'll still be ketogenic because you'll be burning 10,000 calories a day once you get up to 35,000 feet. That's what I'm talking about. You've got to understand what your body's caloric needs are, what your body's caloric expenditure is per day. Track it, understand it, and you can stay in ketosis even by eating some carbs. But don't sit here and listen to me right now and go, oh, Vance said I can eat some carbohydrates. You have no idea how many that you can eat. And until you understand how to measure that and how to program that, and if you need some help, drop me a line. I'm more than happy to help you. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction. But please understand, it's not just about dropping down to 0 carbohydrates or simply dropping down to 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. Have you calculated what 50% of your caloric needs are in grams for dietary fat, or what 30% of your caloric needs are in protein as far as calories are concerned? If you don't know those numbers, you can't eat by those numbers. If you're not measuring your meals out and understanding that I'm eating X amount of grams of protein, X amount of grams of fat, X amount of grams of carbohydrates, what is my caloric expenditure in the gym? What is my daily caloric expenditure? What is my BMI? If you don't know those things, then you're not ready to truly transform your body in the most optimal way possible. And I know it sounds like a lot, but let me tell you something. It's one of the most fun things that you can do. It's like putting up a blank canvas, getting some paints out, and going, okay, let's create something. Except in this case, you're recreating yourself. And you're putting yourself in a position where you're going to be more functional, you're going to have more fun, more energy, you're going to be able to explore your environment and interact in your environment in a way that you haven't been able to do in a very long time, especially for somebody who's become sedentary, somebody who's really overweight, and is somebody who's not living a truly active lifestyle. Anyway, you can eat carbohydrates on a ketogenic nutrition program as long as you have some very basic understandings of what your goals are. If you need some help with that, drop me a line. Information is out there. Take your time. If you need somebody to talk you through some things, drop me a line right here below, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. Otherwise, go to trueimagefitness.net, sign up, and we can do some one-on-one coaching, and I'm more than happy to help you through the next transformation in your life. Remember, get up, get out, get moving, do something good for yourself. Hang loose and stay fit, and I'll talk to you soon.